Okay, let's just cut right to it. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to give you a direct, inside look at exactly what it takes to break out of a career rut. If you're navigating the hyper-competitive world of product management right now, especially in this crazy, fast-moving AI and agentic era, you already know the ground is literally shifting under our feet. Today, we're breaking down the methodologies, the credentials, and the unique mentorship approach of Atul Totra. Atul is a product and growth leader who took his elite experiences at tech giants like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google and actually engineered them into a highly structured system to accelerate ambitious professionals just like you. He calls it the Career Growth Operating System. And honestly, whether you're trying to finally land that FANG role or you're gunning for your next major promotion, his philosophy is a total game changer. So let's get into it. I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second. Do you feel stuck in your current role? Like, when you seek out those big growth opportunities, are you finding it almost impossible to actually land them? Maybe you know you're highly competent, you know you're putting in the late hours, and frankly, you know you deserve to climb that product management ladder, but somehow you just feel completely sidelined. Well, Atul points out that a lot of incredibly smart, capable people find themselves in this exact same trap. And here's the kicker. The reason isn't a lack of effort. Not at all. It's actually a lack of operating at the right standard. Okay, let's dive into this because the foundation of Atul's entire mentorship philosophy really comes down to one absolutely crucial comparison. On one side, you have the standard PM. We all know the type, right? They manage a backlog, maybe ship a few features, log their dependencies, and then essentially just sit on their hands waiting for engineering resources that basically never arrive. The fatal flaw here is that their impact is totally invisible to leadership. But then, on the other side, there's the standard Atul coaches his mentees to achieve, the bar raiser PM. A bar raiser doesn't just manage for output, they manage for actual landed impact. They act like a startup founder inside the company. They aren't just building a product, they are building a business. Now, to really understand why this approach works so well, we have to look at where it came from. Atul isn't just theorizing here. These aren't just fancy names slapped on a resume. These are the exact, high-pressure environments where he stress-tested the framework he now teaches. At Microsoft, he drove product and growth leadership. At Amazon, he completely internalized and mastered their famously rigorous bar-raiser leadership principles. And at Google, he operated as a true intrapreneur, leading these incredible zero-to-one motions right at the complex intersection of AI, machine learning, and enterprise-scale go-to-market strategies. He built his expertise the hard way, by building, failing, iterating, and leading through massive corporate change. So what does this all mean? What exactly is the standard he brought from Amazon over to Google? Well, a bar raiser isn't just some vanity title. It's a standard you earn through pure action. It means demonstrating a relentless, almost obsessive focus on ownership. And by that, I mean you own the business outcome, not just the lines of code. It means having an intense bias for action, working backwards from the customer, and driving measurable growth. Bar raisers are the people in the room protecting the long-term vision, and most importantly, they actively force the standard upward to block mediocrity. If you want to operate at an elite level and actually get noticed by your leadership team, you absolutely must adopt this mindset. And how does a bar raiser actually tick? They rely heavily on first principles and second-order thinking. When Atul tackles a massive growth objective, he doesn't just nod along to surface-level assumptions or conventional wisdom. Step 1, he strips the problem down to the bare, undeniable facts. Step 2, he asks why repeatedly, just peeling back the layers until he hits the rock-bottom truth of what the business actually needs. And then, crucially, Step 3, applying second-order thinking. This means not just asking what happens next, but asking what happens after what happens next. You see, a standard PM just looks at the immediate impact of a new feature. A bar raiser maps out the downstream ripple effects. How is this going to impact the sales motion, customer retention, and the core system architecture long before they commit a single resource? Let me share a really specific story from Atul's time at Google that perfectly encapsulates this whole vibe. He spotted a massive gap in the business and envisioned this product, a platform, and a go-to-market motion that simply did not exist yet. His goal was to incubate an AI/ML signal intelligence platform to drive expansion. But here was the harsh reality. He had 0 headcount, literally no engineering team assigned to help him build this. Now, a standard PM, they'd log a dependency, blame resource constraints, and just wait it out. But remember, a bar raiser acts like a startup founder. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Atul systematically obliterated those constraints through sheer action. He knew he needed data to prove his business case, so what did he do? He became the engineer. He literally learned Google's internal systems so he could query the data himself. Then he leveraged AI tools, specifically Gemini, to analyze the patterns. He even went as far as vibe coding. If you haven't heard that term, it's essentially using AI to build functional software without being a traditional, formally trained software engineer. He used it to create a prototype K-near's neighbor's machine learning model to automatically find high-value expansion candidates. He built the foundation with his own two hands to prove the opportunity was real way before he ever went to leadership asking for a team. Because he actually had the receipts, the hard data, and a working AI prototype, a tool could show the cross-functional teams the actual art of the possible. He didn't rely on flimsy, weak slide decks to hide theoretical ideas. He mastered the written narrative. He wrote crisp, brutally clear documents with strong arguments supported by his own prototypes to lock in alignment from both sales and engineering. Good writing forces clear thinking, it eliminates ambiguity. And man, it worked. His VP called him a man with a plan, and his boss officially recognized him as a true entrepreneur. So he built this iterative strategy, executed it relentlessly, and the results were just undeniable. In the first year alone, this initiative delivered 20x growth, 20 times. Let that sink in for a second. To put that into perspective, it is incredibly rare for a 0-to-1 initiative to jump straight from a hacks-together prototype to a multi-million-dollar strategic OKR reporting directly at the CEO level. But that is exactly the reality of what happened. Leadership naturally gravitated toward this hard evidence, they doubled down on his success, and gave him a much larger team to execute the full vision. This, right here, is the difference between having your impact remain invisible versus driving actual, undeniable landed impact. And this brilliantly illustrates that this isn't just some cool, one-off story. It's a completely repeatable playbook. You can stop guessing on how to build products and just follow these exact steps to drive outsized impact from day one. Step 1, find a massive problem and explicitly tie it to a strategic OKR. Step 2, build a rock-solid business case and prep your go-to-market strategy simultaneously before you write any production code. Step 3, vibe code a prototype yourself and use those crisp written narratives to secure cross-functional alignment. And finally, step 4, execute relentlessly. Measure your business, usage, and operational metrics, those L1, L2, L3 numbers, and then use that data to secure your next investment to scale. The overarching lesson here requires a massive mindset shift. And honestly, it's a direct challenge to how you might be working right now. Stop acting like a project manager. You need to operate as the general manager of your business. Manage your product like it is a standalone billion-dollar startup hiding inside a massive tech company. You've got to take full responsibility for the whole shebang, the profit and loss, the marketing strategy, the sales motion, and ultimate customer success. Set a ridiculously high standard, think holistically, and just deliver the results. So this brings us to how Atul can actually help you achieve this. He has taken all of these hard-earned lessons, the building, the failing, the leading through insane corporate change, and packaged them into a highly structured, highly practical mentorship system. This is what he calls the Career Growth Operating System. He uses this exact system to mentor ambitious professionals, helping them break into those impossible-looking roles and massively accelerate their careers. And perhaps most importantly, this OS isn't outdated advice. It's specifically tailored for navigating the highly complex, shifting expectations of this modern AI and agentic era. Atul's mentorship style is incredibly practical, super candid, and you can see exactly the kinds of challenges he's actively helping his mentees work through right now. For instance, he's currently mentoring 3 Google PMs, coaching them to master these new agentic PM expectations so they can lock in top performance ratings and secure their next promotions. He's also a mentor over at Cornell University's Johnson School of Business, where he guides MBA students in creating highly actionable 3-horizon career plans. And he works closely with early career professionals trying to break into product management and land those highly coveted FANG roles. It's all about clearly envisioning that next level and then taking smart, actionable bets to actually manifest it. So look, if you are tired of just managing backlogs and waiting around for permission to be great, it's time to adopt the bar raiser standard. Take absolute ownership of your career trajectory. If Atul's approach resonates with you today, if you want to learn his product management frameworks, his AIPM playbook, and leverage this Career Growth OS to catapult your career, then your next step is really simple. Reach out and book a meeting with him today. Because at the end of the day, you really have to ask yourself, are you going to spend another entire year managing someone else's backlog, or are you finally ready to build your own business?